Hello everyone. So in today's lesson, we are going to start with percentages of shapes. I understand this is the last topic that we did before the lockdown, and I'm going to go through these topics one more time because most of my students missed some of these lessons, and some did not understand it quite well. So I'm going to try and go through it with you before we can move on to our next topic. So today we're going to need a pen or pencil. You're going to need a paper or a notebook so that you can answer some of the questions that I've put down in this video. So when you reach to the point where you have to practice, please make sure and pause the video before you go and check the answer. Okay, so let's start with percentage of shapes. So we all know what a percent is by now, but I have decided that still I'll give you the definition of a percent. So a percent is a ratio comparing a number to 100, or it is a fraction that is out of 100, right? Like 30 out of 100 is equal to 30%. So any number that compares another number to 100, like 5 out of 100, it is equal to 5%. So in this lesson, we are going to focus more on finding percent using equivalent fractions. And we all know that we can find equivalent fractions in different ways. So equivalent fractions, these are fractions that name the same amount or part. Let's say, for example, you have 1 over 3 and you want to find a fraction that is equivalent to 1 over 3. You can multiply with 2 over 2. You have to use the same number to multiply the numerator and the denominator. So 1 over 3 times 2 over 2 is equal to 2 over 6. So 1 over 3 is equivalent to 2 over 6. Let's see another example, 3 over 9. You can use any number to multiply, but you have to remember to use it for both the numerator and the denominator. So we can say 3 over 9 times 4 over 4 is equal to 12 over 36. So 3 over 9 is equivalent to 12 over 36. You can also use division to find equivalent fractions. Let's say your number is a fraction that has bigger values like 5 over 45. So you can divide 5 over 45 by 5 over 5. When you have divided by 5 over 5, you get 1 over 9. So 5 over 45 is equivalent to 1 over 9. This is more like writing your answer in simplest form, which is something that we have learned. So let's move on to the next. So we're going to try and find this fraction circle, which is 1 out of 5. So we have 1 out of 5 shaded in this fraction circle, and we want to change that to a percent, which means we want to change that to a fraction that is equal to 100, right? So because we know that from 5 to 100, you have to multiply by 20, right? So you can simply say 100 divided by 5 and you get 20. Then you can use 20 to multiply the fraction that you started with, which is 1 over 5. So you can say 1 over 5 times 20 over 20, and you get 20 over 100, which means your answer is 20%. So 1 over 5 is equal to 20 out of 100. So in other words, we're saying you can simply divide 100 divided by 5. Because 5 is a factor of 100, it is easy to find the percentage by dividing 100 by 5. But in the next one, we're going to see that it's not the same for other numbers that are not factors of 100. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So I want us to try and find a percentage for these two. So at this moment, I would advise you to pause your video And try these two fraction circles. Try to find the percentages of these two fraction circles. So try and not cheat and go ahead to check the answer. Find the answer using the same formula. So in the first one, you can see that it is 1 out of 4, which is shaded. And in the second one, it is 1 out of 2. We both know that 4 and 2 are factors of 100. So try and divide 100 divided by 4, then 100 divided by 2 to find the number that you have to use to multiply. Then move forward. So pause, try it, and when you have finished, okay, so I am guessing everyone has finished. Now, for the first one is 1 out of 4, which is shaded. So to change that to a fraction that is out of 100, you have to divide 100 divided by 4, which is 25. So we can use 25 to multiply 1 over 4. So 1 over 4 times 25 over 25 is 25 over 100, which is 25%. I know most of you got it right, so good job. Let's move on to the next one, which is 1 over 2. To change it to a fraction that is out of 100, we can say 100 divided by 2, and then we get 50. So we can say 1 over 2 times 50 over 50, which is equal to 50 over 150%. Okay, so that is how you can convert when you know that the fraction or the denominator that you have is a factor of 100. What if the denominator is not a factor of 100? What should I do? So remember, we have equivalent fractions. You can change to another fraction that is equivalent to that one that you can use very easily. So in this case, we have this fraction circle, which is shaded 2 parts out of 8. And we want to change it to 100, but I know that 8 is not a factor of 100. So, in other words, we can change to equivalent fractions by dividing. Let's divide 2 over 8. Divide by 2 over 2, we get 1 over 4. It's that simple, right? So 2 over 8 divided by 2 over 2, we get 1 over 4. And then now I can change 1 over 4 to 100. I already did that. I know you have to multiply that by what? 25. So 100 divided by 4 is 25. So I can multiply that by 25 and get 25%. 25 out of 100. So you can simply change to a fraction that has a denominator that is easy to change to 100. So you can use division for that. So I'm going to ask you to pause the video again and try these two circles, these two fraction circles. So these two fraction circles, the first one is 4 out of 16, I believe, and the second one is 3 out of 12. Yes, 3 out of 12. So I need you to try and do the same thing that I did. Feel free to go back, but don't go ahead to check the answer. Go back and see how I did it. Then you can try it on your paper the same way. So the first one, 4 out of 16. Pause the video and try. And the second one is 3 out of 12. Pause the video and try. Don't check the answer for the first one before you finish the second one. Okay, so good job. Let's move on. Let's check our answer. 4 out of 16 is, we want to find percent of 4 out of 16, but I know 16 is not a factor of 100, so I need to reduce it to a simpler number that I can divide into 100. So in other words, I can divide it by 4 over 4 and get 1 over 4. Guess what? It's the same. 1 over 4 times 25 over 25 is 25. So we have 25% on the first one. And the second one is 3 over 12. So to find it as a percent, I can only simplify 3 over 12 by dividing by 3 over 3 and get 1 over 4. they have the same percent, which is 25%. I'm hoping that you understood how to use equivalent fractions to find these numbers. And I have put together a worksheet for you guys to do in as homework. Try to use the same formulas to find percentages of shapes in this exercise. And I hope by the next time we meet, I really hope by the next time we meet, you would have completed that worksheet, and I'll give you the answers to that worksheet in the next video. So have a lovely day and enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.